right. Easy peasy.
Lemon breezy.
I want some G-Easy. And anyways, by episode 14, welcome. Episode podcast 14.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the time you've waited for.
These whole 2 days or 2 weeks or however long it's taken you to get to this point. We're excited that you're here. This past weekend, we went on a trip to Escalante. Grand Staircase Escalante?
Correct.
Is that the correct term?
That's the correct
Title?
name of the area. Yeah, it's a national monument. It's basically just a bunch of slot canyons and crazy southern Utah rocks and sand. And it's right by Capitol Reef and Bryce Canyon. So if you can kind of imagine those two are like your surrounding areas, it's a pretty spectacular place.
Definitely a place that I think is one of my favorites of southern Utah. And I feel like all the parks and monuments and state parks, whatever, in southern Utah are always crazy and always amazing. But this one, for some reason, was just the best out of all of them. Maybe for the trip that we had, but it was also just beautiful.
Every time we go to southern Utah, it's like a whole new world that we're experiencing every single time.
A whole new world.
A whole new world.
Driving in varsity.
That is my beautiful, stunning Jeep.
Man, I want to go with you. Camping. Okay, we can stop now, but...
He's a singer. I'm not. I have to cut it. I'm cut from the team.
Yeah, you got fired. Goodbye.
I'm fired. Bye. Sitting on the bench.
Anywho, so sorry you had to hear all of that. But
yeah, I am very sorry.
It probably didn't even rhyme. Like, when I'm going to edit this, I'm going to be like, that was awful.
Yeah.
Anywho, the funny start of this trip was that the day we left, which was Friday after Pierce got off work, that whole day, everything about it was just so slow. Like everything. Like it was on turtle speed.
Oh, you're talking when we were going
yeah.
down. That's
Yeah.
I thought you meant like our personal days, like mine at work and yours like at home. But
that too. But yes.
yeah, it was like every red light we could get, every line imaginable at the restaurant we went to get food.
The guy was trying to pay for his food at Firehouse Subs, and the guy was like, denied. I'll try it again. Denied. I swear on my life, the guy tried his card like 10 times. He was on the phone. It was
kind of a disaster.
Annoying. I went out to the car to grab something. There was an old lady backing up in the parking lot, like, again, turtle speed, holding up traffic. I was laughing. And Firehouse Subs was way out of the way. I-15 was busy.
Oh my gosh,
I'm telling
traffic.
you.
It was like my patience was being tried at every moment for
Literally
some
every
reason
moment.
for about like 40 minutes straight. And then everything was fine. We
It's true.
drove and there was almost a full moon Friday. I don't know what that like specific terminology is.
Waxing or waning. Gibbous.
Whatever it was bright and beautiful, lighting up our roads. We stopped at like a scenic route.
The whole road was scenic, but unfortunately it was dark. But
it was dark, but we didn't even get to that
the
part
moonlight
yet.
did light up everything along the way. We were at that rest stop for a little while, and we were just kind of hanging out, like looking at the overlook and the moonlit sky and everything. And then this other car pulls up, and it's like dark. It's like 9 or something. This guy like pops out, and he's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And just starts like jabbering, just going to town with us. We're talking
Where are
back
you guys
and
going?
forth.
What's going on? Like,
They were like, "We're going to Escalante," and we're like, "Oh, well, we are too." And then he's like, "Well, yeah, join us." And we're just like, "Who is this
like,
guy?"
What's your name? Are you trying to like, just recruit me out in the middle of nowhere? Like for what? Why? You're so eager, But then it was funny. We just started talking. He's been to Escalante a lot and he just has all these cool things he's wanting to show his new girlfriend and us, apparently, just anyone, And
Right. He was so excited about it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And we were like, well, honestly, our plans were kind of like there's these cool looking canyons. Let's go to them. And that was it. So
Right. We just had a few pins, but nothing really set in plan. What he was talking about going to, I had actually seen them on like Instagram, and I was super stoked that he knew where they were. And so I was like, sure, like we'll think about it. Like, let's hop in the car. We'll start driving there because we still had like an hour left.
we both had to get gas. So we said at the gas station, we'll like have a decision.
Right. And then we get into our car, and I'm like, dude, it sounds awesome, but they could probably also kill us. Me thinking like in Trevor terms, I'm like, I've been listening to Crime Junkie. I've been watching like sketchy shows and stuff, and I was just not ready for it. But then, I mean, like he did work at the University of Utah, and he had some good backup information or good personal information. So I kind of believed him.
Yeah, honestly, I was just like, dude, this dude he won't shut up about Escalante. He honestly is just so excited about this place, and he wants to show us. And it's like also he has these dudes to impress. Like it was just like a fun time. It was really fun. It was awesome.
Right. And I was like, you know what? And I want to go to those things anyways. So like he's going, and he's going to be our tour guide.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just hopped along for the ride. He was our tour guide.
Jose, the tour guide.
Yeah, Jose, the tour guide. Jose and Cynthia. They were so sweet.
They were awesome. More than just showing us cool spots, we arrived at the cool spot. We like explored it, hiked out to it. Again, it was so bright, you could practically see everything. It was cool. Trevor got some cool night photography. Right. Went to sleep, kind of did it again in the morning to see in the daylight. We hiked up for sunrise, and it was beautiful seeing in that daylight. Mm-hmm. And then they made us tea, and that was so fun.
Yeah. It was just like two groups of people just wanting to have a good time, sharing what they had, and just enjoying it together.
Exactly.
Like finding new friends. It was great. It was like what Sonder Sights is about. Like the whole trip was all about everything that we believe in. And so it was just like one of those trips that was just so like, it's just a spiritual, mental, physical recharge. Mm-hmm. You know, after we get done with this hike, we get back into camp, and we're going to go to the next spot. But Cynthia, this lady, Jose's girlfriend, she does like yoga and meditation a lot.
And she travels a lot, and she's in the military, so she's just bounced around a ton, has experienced a lot of culture and food and just travel, just experience. She was awesome.
Super cool. Does she teach yoga? Does she teach?
Yeah, she was teaching it, but it sounded like it was kind of just like for fun. Like she wasn't having classes or anything. She just loves to teach yoga to whoever, you know?
Well, I was loving it. Well, she didn't actually teach us yoga, but we did have like a meditation session because it was also really cold. And so we were just sitting there in the sun, just soaking in the sun, and the silence is what we wanted to talk about.
It was immediate. I felt like for me, it was like walking out that night and hiking. It was so crazy because it was so bright still because of the moon, and we're out in the middle of nowhere, and you can't hear anything because it's cold. So there's not a lot of animals either. And it was awesome. And then, yeah, that moment of meditation, though, the next morning really is when it sunk in of holy smokes, we need silent time in our lives. And it definitely makes me want to meditate a lot more in this life here, like in the apartment or whatever. Even though the city can be a little louder, it was just an amazing experience with silence for sure.
Yeah, like before we went down, we talked about how we wanted to spend some alone time or just some quiet time.
Right.
And so that was like the first moment of that trip. And it was so awesome because I usually don't meditate. That's something that if you listen to the last episodes, something I want to get into. So it was like a good experience to be with someone that does it a lot and see how they do it and kind of get some tips and tricks.
Right. Everything about them, they showed us another hike that day. Again, nothing in our plans. All Jose's thinking. It was a hike in Coyote Gulch. Do you remember the name of the hike or what it was too?
No, I don't remember the name of the arch.
Yeah. It was so cool.
It was so awesome. Maybe I'll have to overlay some pictures or some clips on this podcast if you're listening on YouTube, because it really was amazing. It was one of the coolest trips. These two spots that we went to have been spots on my list of places to go, and it was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. Oh, you know where these things are? Oh, you want to take us?
Oh my gosh, you guys are so fun. You're gonna show us all these new things.
Oh, you want to meditate and
you
like
have
do
good
yoga?
Conversation about actual life.
Oh, you want to make us tea?
Oh my gosh, we're gonna try these Turkish biscuits or whatever they were.
Sure, we'll come along for the ride.
We're into that. Let's go.
Right. It was just so funny how well we meshed with them. And they're older than us. They're in their 30s, I think. But it was just so fun. We were just like adventurous souls. And
right. They're in their 30s, have kids.
Yeah.
Like they're both a little more mature.
yes, mature for sure.
Yeah.
They definitely have a lot more experience than we do. And so that's why it was nice to talk with other people who are older than you, who have more experience in like really, Escalante and
right. And yeah, not only the area, but also just real experience in life and can actually give you some meaningful tips.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love asking people for that. Like not even asking, just receiving that from other people. It's great.
Right. So overall, it was just awesome to meet new people. I want to encourage everybody to talk with people who are on hikes, the same hike as you, or camping near you, or whatever. Like, you don't have to bother everybody. You don't have to be like a nuisance.
It's not being a nosy neighbor.
Right. Just being like a nice human being and finding people who are literally just trying to do what you want to do, enjoying nature.
And sometimes you just say hello and you share a snack or something. That's it, or you say
nothing.
Hi and bye.
Yeah. Anyways, interact with human beings. Gosh dang it. They need it. We need it. I need it. Everybody needs it.
Jose and Cynthia were a huge part to that trip.
Building on our last podcast with being alone and finding time for alone time, but then sharing it with good people. That was just another testament to me, or another like example to me, the balance, I guess. Like even when we were with them, we also spent time alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then they left and they went on their merry way. And then we were alone, and that's when shit hit the fan. Literally. Yeah, we had a plan, but there's a story and experience that I am gonna tell, and I just gave a sneak peek. So the next camping spot we went to was just like some cool rocks that we saw in the distance, and we went, and it was like one of the coolest camping spots. So awesome.
It was so cool. There was like a little piece of wood with some rocks with a bench, and there was like some smaller rocks next to the bigger rocks, but they were still big.
There was a rock spaceship out there, and we took a night picture with it. Like overall, it was awesome.
It was a really fun, good spot, and it was easy, and it all worked out so nicely. Again, so smooth, so great. Kind of had like a celebratory night because we did get a lot of Sonder Sights stuff done.
It's true.
And had more Sonder Sights stuff planned the next day.
Mm-hmm. But then, ladies and gentlemen, the unfortunate happens. Did you forget about this? Did you forget I was going to share this? Yeah. So
you brave soul. You.
I know. This is going to be really, I'm sorry that you have to hear this, and don't give me too much.
What's that,
crap?
That thing that comes up that's like explicit content.
Warning. Don't continue further. If
you are queasy, just stop now.
Yeah, stop now. Back out. Skip to the next episode, or skip for 10 minutes or something. So it was a good night. Like, it was all overall awesome, but it was cold. The fire was awesome. We ate a lot of food because we were just so exhausted from the day.
All the hiking.
Right. And I think I overate a little bit just because I didn't really eat anything during those hikes. So we get into bed, we get into the car, we're car camping, go to bed. So I wake up at 5 and my stomach is hurting. And I kind of need to go to the bathroom, but I'm kind of like cozy in my sleeping bag. Don't want to get up. It's freezing. I would have to put everything on.
Right. Makes sense to me.
This is why you go to the bathroom before you go to bed.
It's true.
And get cozy in your sleeping bag. And I was sitting there for like 20 minutes, and finally I couldn't do it anymore. And I realized I need to poop bad.
B-A-D.
Bad. I finally, I can't do this anymore. I get out. I go dig a hole, all that jazz. It is like freezing degrees outside. And I don't need to share any details, but yes, I go to the bathroom, and it finally feels great, but my stomach is hurting a lot more now. But finally, I go to the bathroom twice, and then I'm feeling great.
You're feeling okay.
I'm feeling like
you let loose.
$1,000,000. It's like when you throw up and you feel better.
You're so rejuvenated.
Yeah. So I also thought about that, but I was like, no, I don't want to. So I was feeling better. Go back into the car, go to sleep. No, definitely don't go back to sleep. I just sit there and I try to go to sleep. 20 minutes later, I am getting uppercutted by my stomach. My stomach is not happy. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Evacuate.
I need
Emergency.
you know, like when you're in your house and you just run to the toilet.
Yeah.
One of those moments, but I'm in my sleeping bag, no shoes on, not a jacket on, nothing.
Zipped all up.
All cozy. I'm like, I need to go now before I poo myself. I'm getting my zipper and it's stuck. I literally was messing with my zipper for, like, not exaggerating, 30 seconds.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I need to go. And I was so frustrated. Dude, this is like 5:30 in the morning and Pierce is passed out right next to me. He doesn't hear like any of this. And I'm just like fighting for my life. I'm like, I need to get out. I need to get out. Finally, I get it. I go. I can't even find the toilet paper. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Bam. I poop myself. I poop myself. Me, Trevor Call, 23-year-old man, poop myself. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I just take like 2 steps over, still in our campsite, like right next to the fire. And I just let my pants down and I poop. And it was awful. It was terrible. I threw my underwear away, everything.
This is a poor, bad night for Trevor.
It was terrible. It was really terrible. But I couldn't help but laugh. Like after it happened, I was like, gosh dang it, I have to tell Pierce this in the morning. Like,
so funny.
This is so funny. That's one of the first things I told him when he woke up. And so you're like half asleep, but half like laughing.
I was like half asleep. Like, what is he talking about? And then as soon as like it hit me, I was just dying laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny.
You know, I can't even give like life advice on that because it's just unfortunate.
Well, what did you learn from that experience?
Nothing.
Go to the bathroom before bedtime?
No, I felt great before bedtime.
Oh.
But my stomach was just not happy. So don't eat too much, I guess. Don't eat too much. Just slowly roll.
Stop when you're at that moment when you don't really need more. You know?
You don't need it. You definitely don't need it.
Like it though.
I felt like, I know, right? Fat Trevor really came out in me that night.
It comes out in all of us.
He does. And it came out that night also in my
your
pants. So yeah, do what you will with that information, but we can also just move on.
Now that we're moving on, another rejuvenating part of the trip was getting a lot of Sonder Sights stuff prepped and ready to rock and roll. You know, a lot of pictures, and videos.
Lots of content.
Lots of content.
For what, Pierce? Some might ask.
Well, you see.
Drum roll.
Apparel, ladies and gentlemen. Yee, the first ones ever. Just to show our appreciation for Mother Nature and all that she does for us. So with that, though, it was awesome. It was so fun to go around and view the outdoors for a few hours in the aspect of business. And like you talk about this of like looking at life through a lens. And it was a little more like that of like looking at life. Like it was still so crazy in these slot canyons. We went to a couple different ones. So cool. So spooky, you might say. One of the canyons was named Spooky Canyon.
I was like,
Anyways, yeah, it was just awesome to get so much and think. It was just awesome to be thinking about the future of Sonder Sights and what more is going to be coming and getting just a lot of fun, good content.
Right. I liked it because it was our brand in nature and in scenes that we wanted it to be a part of, you know, like something that we can be proud of. We are editing that this week and apparel is coming soon. We have sweatshirts and hoodies. They have a logo with Thanks Mama on it. And Thanks has 2 S's for Sonder Sights. And then Mama is designed in a bunch of earthy design letters. And shout out to your boy Pierce here because that was all his gig. He designed that one.
The 2 S's was all you, man. So was it combined?
Okay. I guess the idea was mine. The execution design was you.
Right on.
So go team.
Ooh. Go team.
And we're excited for you to see it. We're going to do probably some giveaway with those when they launch. I don't want to say anything specific because we haven't decided and it'll probably change, but be on the lookout.
Yeah, look out for a giveaway.
We're excited for you to see them. There's lots of colors, obviously, and lots of coolness about them. So yeah, give that a look-sees. Basically, to wrap up the trip and the podcast, we were able to spend our last sunset kind of off on our own and alone. And we talked about that last podcast, but again, just very powerful. I think overall, we just felt the energy and rechargeness.
Yeah.
Whatever. The recharge of being in nature. Yeah. It was just overall great great opportunity and trip, and obviously funny and spontaneous. Anyways, overall good.
Like you said, the last day was really just time to be all to ourselves and then come back together at the end of the day and discuss a lot of the things that we feel in life and for our futures and from this trip. And it was just, like you said, very recharging. So there's truly nothing that we can testify harder to than to just get outside, even if it's freezing cold or whatever. There's so much that you can gain from the outdoors.
I didn't think that I would like camping in the winter, but Southern Utah was great because it was a little bit warmer and there was hardly anybody there. Mm-hmm. Like there was a parking lot. There was 2 parking lots at the hike that we did, and there was like an overflow parking lot. And literally when we got there was 1 car. And that was kind of like the whole trip. Like there was nobody at the first spot. We hardly saw anybody driving around. So yeah, like this is a time to go explore. Every season is good for all the reasons.
Right. There's always a reason, and there's always something cool and truthfully easy if you think about it also.
Yes. So go get outside, like Pierce said, wherever that is. It could even be like museums or things in your city.
Amen.
I have a whole like winter list of city things that I want to do because it's nice being inside.
Exactly. And that's this weekend. You know, last weekend was an outdoor excursion. This weekend will be a city excursion. Just getting out, experiencing what's around you, experiencing life.
Yo. Well, with that wraps it up. And let's
shoot, boot, and boogie.
Yeah, sure.
Adios.
And, bye.